New question. Member from Huron-Bruce.
Thank you very much, Speaker. My question is to the Acting Premier. Acting Premier, your carbon tax will make it more expensive to buy anything made in Ontario, more expensive to drive your car, to buy your groceries, and more expensive to heat your home. The most vulnerable of Ontarians will be hurt by this tax.
Minister of Aboriginal Affairs.
For those already struggling to make ends meet, it's about to get even harder. Your consultations proved just that. I was there, and I heard from the people of Ontario. But unfortunately, I'm sad.
Minister of Transportation.
Your government has chosen to ignore them. You don't care that they cannot afford this tax. Acting Premier, will you rethink this disastrous tax on everything and admit your climate change consultations were nothing but a sham?
Deputy Premier.
Well, Speaker, we've been listening very, very carefully, and I wish the member opposite would also listen carefully to the voices who are supporting, including the...
I'm going to end this quickly. I want to hear the answers.
Speaker, voices supporting this action include Don McCabe, the President of the Ontario Federation of Agriculture. Speaker, I think we should be listening to the farmers of Ontario. Don McCabe said the Ontario government's commitment to carbon pricing reinforces our fight against climate change. We look forward to working with them. Listen to the farmers. Listen to your constituents. Climate change is costing us today. It will cost us only more in the future.
Supplementary.
To my colleagues in this House and to people watching today, I have to say, don't be fooled by the comments we've just heard from the Deputy Premier. This announcement this morning has nothing to do with reducing emissions, but rather the introduction of a new revenue tool to cover off their wasteful spending. That's what it's all about. So back to the Acting Premier. Since you won't rethink this disastrous plan and you're fully prepared to raise prices of everything in this province, I want to remind you of a line from the Premier's throne speech. She promised to use evidence before ideology and choose partnership over partisanship. Evidence shows that cap-and-trade systems are riddled with scandal, corruption, and fraud. All things, I would dare say, your government knows well about. Billions and billions of dollars have been lost to cap-and-trade fraud across the globe, and it's no surprise you're looking to jump on that train. So, Acting Premier, will you prevent the fraud that comes in hand with cap-and-trade? And
Thank you. Deputy Premier.
It's quite true that other jurisdictions have gone before us on this, and we are learning from their experiences, Speaker. We will ensure that this is done right in Ontario. In fact, this is done right in Canada. The costs of climate change are staggering, and for the party opposite to ignore the costs of climate change and focus on the costs of cap and trade is disingenuous at best, Speaker.
Withdraw, please.
I withdraw. Speaker, the National Roundtable on Economy and Environment estimates the cost of climate change in Canada would go from $5 billion in 2020 to at least $21 billion by 2050. Those are real costs borne by real people. I wish the opposition party would have constructive ideas on how to address this very important global problem, Speaker.
No supplementary.
Thank you, Speaker. Again, back to the Acting Premier. Acting Premier, you have learned nothing from other jurisdictions. The Green Energy Act is a perfect example of the absolute destruction of our province in terms of manufacturing and our homes and families throughout this province. There is a lot of evidence demonstrating the problems now with your carbon tax on everything. Yet neither the Premier nor her minister could identify today where the revenue from this tax is going to end up. This is a worry. Again, Deputy Premier, you've proven time and time again we cannot trust you. So, Acting Premier, will you admit that this cap and trade is just another general revenue tool to supplement your wasteful spending?
Thank you. Deputy Premier.
Speaker, I think it's time for the party opposite to pick a lane on this. Just a few weeks ago, they voted in favour. In fact, the member from Huron-Bruce voted in favour of the motion from our member from Glengarry Prescott Russell, Speaker, that reads, in the opinion of this House, the Ontario Legislative Assembly recognizes that scientists agree that climate change is caused by man-made greenhouse gas emissions and poses a serious threat to Ontario's environment, businesses, communities and economists, that scientists and leaders of G8 countries, including Canada, have recognized the need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions with the goal of avoiding more than 2 degrees of warming, and affirm that this House must take necessary action to reduce emissions, transition to low-carbon economy, and combat the effects of climate change. You supported that motion 2 weeks ago. Today, you're standing in the way of taking that.
Thank you. New question, the Leader of the Third Party.